and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Marin and here you will find a little beauty, a little books, and a little teaching content. So if that sounds like something you might enjoy, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around and join me in my little corner of YouTube. Today's video is going to be my February reading recap where I will take you through the 12 books that I read during the month, rank them from my least favorite to favorite, go over some overall reading stats, and share a book haul with you. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by ranking the books that I read from my least favorite to favorite, as I usually do. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with my least favorite book by far of February, which was Adelaide by Genevieve Wheeler. This was a book of the month book that I picked up last year and was really looking forward to. However, I'm only giving this 2.5 stars because I had a lot of problems with multiple parts of this book. I will link my Goodreads review down below if you want to go and check it out, but just know I did not like this one and I would not recommend it. At number 11 is definitely a huge disappointment because it is Love on the Brain by Hazelwood. The Love Hypothesis was my favorite book of 2023, but this one was nowhere near as good. I am giving this one 3 stars. I did not like the main female character, didn't like parts of the story, and just overall didn't have the greatest time reading it. So, not my favorite. At number 10 is A Mirror Mended by Alix Harrow. This is a fairy tale-ish retelling where a girl can travel into like various universes of sleeping beauties. She's got her own things that she's going through in her life. This one, I didn't love the first book in the series. I gave it 3 stars, so it stands to reason the second one would be along those same lines. I just really wanted to finish the series off, but I did give it 3 stars. It's nothing special. At number 9 is Mother Daughter Murder Night by Nina Simon. This is another one where I just didn't love it, but I also didn't hate it. So it's sitting at that 3-star range. It was fine, a decent story. Calling it a mystery is perhaps a bit of a stretch. It's more of like a family drama, but it was okay, hence the 3 stars. At number 8 is the 26th Nancy Drew book, which is The Clue of the Leaning Chimney by Carolyn. Keene. This one was fine, nothing special, your typical Nancy Drew story. At number 7 is Other Birds by Sarah Addison Allen. This one is another book of the month book that I was highly anticipating. A lot of people have really loved this. I just didn't really feel much of a connection to the characters, and as such, overall, the story was just okay, hence the 3 stars. At number 6 is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. This was my second attempt to read this book. I did it on audio. I really liked the narrator. It was Allison Larkin, I believe. She did a good job of bringing the story to life. Overall, I just don't think I jived with the actual story itself. Maybe it's because I'm already familiar with the twist of this story. I'm not really sure, but overall it was good, but not great. So I'm giving this one 3.5 stars. At number 5 is the 25th Nancy Drew book, which is The Ghost of Blackwood Hall, again by Carolyn Keene. This one I really, really liked. This one had immaculate vibes, very creepy. Nancy and her friends are like trying to explore this abandoned manor house. You have seances and mind control, and it just had a very overall creepy atmosphere, which I really appreciated. The mystery was also very tightly constructed and written, definitely a change from some of the other Nancy Drews. This is by far my favorite of all of the ones that I have read so far, so this one was 4 stars. At number 4 is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I have loved her previous 2 YA books and gave them both 5 stars. This one just fell a little bit flat for me. I'm not sure really why that was. I just, again, didn't have the emotional connection to the characters that I was expecting based on her 2 previous books that I really, really loved. So this one is going at 4 stars. I would recommend the audio. It is narrated by the author herself plus another another narrator to do the dual perspectives. It was performed with a lot of feeling. I just didn't feel it. So 4 stars for this one. At number 3 is A Fragile Enchantment by Allison Saft. This was a very cute and adorable YA/new adult fantasy romance. I'm putting it more in the new adult category just based on some of the things that happen in here and the characters' ages because they are both 18 plus. So I really liked this one. However, it took me ages to get through it because I did have to read it physically, and reading physically was very difficult for me in the month of January and still kind of is right now. So because of that, this took forever. I would put it down and not feel any compulsion to pick it back up. So while I did really like this, I can only give it 4 stars just because of the sheer amount of time it took me to read. And then I finally have some 5-star reads for 2024, 2 of them to be exact. So coming in at number 2 is a book that I vlogged, which is Check and Mate by Hazelwood. Unlike Love on the Brain, this one was adorable. This is about 2 people who play chess. They are older teens again, so I'm putting this more in the new adult category as opposed to the YA category, even though that's kind of how it's marketed. The girl character, whose name is Mallory, I had to look on the back, has fallen out of love with chess. She accidentally beats like the #1 world chess player, and he is kind of intrigued by her, and they become friends, and then eventually more. There's a lot with Mallory's life here, a lot with her family life, her history with her father, and I just really loved the romance, the banter, and while I don't understand chess at all, the way it was written was very compelling. The audiobook is very well done as well. I did dual like audio and physical reading on this. Would highly recommend this. Really loved this. However, my top book of the month is a nonfiction book, and it is The Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine by Ilan Pappe. Because we have the current events going on in Israel and Palestine, I wanted to give this one a read. This is a very good historical look at how things came to be in current day Palestine and just how far back Israel has been attempting to eradicate the Palestinian people. So would highly recommend this. Very powerful. Definitely pulls no punches. It was brutal at times, but I would definitely recommend. I really enjoyed reading this, mostly because it gave me a lot of historical context that I otherwise did not have. So, favorite book of the month, 5 stars. All right, with the rankings out of the way, we're now going to move on into my monthly reading stats. To start off, I did read a total of 12 books in February. This breaks down to 3,616 pages and a total of 54.5 hours listened on audiobook. In terms of format, I did listen to 7 audiobooks. I read 2 physical books, 2 mixed media books, which were a combination of physical and audio, and 1 solely physical book. The longest book that I read this month was Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte at 453 pages, and my shortest book read was A Mirror Mended by Alix Harrow, which was a total of 128 pages. For genres, I read a total of 8 different genres. This broke down to 2 each of fantasy, romance, contemporary, and historical, and then 1 each of mystery, nonfiction, classics, and magical realism. For author breakdown, I read 5 new to me authors and 5 returning authors because I did read 2 books each from Hazelwood and Carolyn Keene. In terms of series books, I did read 3 series books. I finished 1 series with A Mirror Mended and continued 1 series by reading 2 Nancy Drew books. In terms of how I acquired each book, I did own 7 of the 12 books that I read this month, and I borrowed 5 of them from various places, including the library, Everand, and Internet Archive. In terms of the age level of each book, I read 7 adult books, 2 new adult books, 1 YA book, and 2 children's books. And in terms of rating, I had 1 2.5 star, 5 3 stars, 1 3.5 star, 3 4 stars, and 2 5 stars, which works out to an average rating of 3.6 stars, which interestingly enough was the exact same average rating as I had in January. Now to close out this video, I'm going to go ahead and share the books that I picked up during the month of February. I have a decent amount of them. This was definitely a higher purchase rate month than January, but that's okay. I'm going to start off with Book of the Month. I did pick a Book of the Month book in February, and the one I decided to go with is The Fox Wife by Yang Si Chu. This one I just think sounds really, really interesting, historical with some Chinese mythology mixed in, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. And because I had some extra credits because I had skipped previous months, I also picked up Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley. This is one that I have wanted to read for a while, and since I could get it from Book of the Month, I decided to go with that one as well. Next, I have 2 pre-orders that came in February. The first one is Bride by Hazelwood. Obviously, I'm hoping this one is better than Love on the Brain, because as we know, I didn't like that one, so fingers crossed. And the second one is Medea by Eilish Quinn. This is a retelling of the Greek mythology story of Medea. I love pretty much anything that has to do with Greek mythology, so I'm really looking forward to reading this, and I think the cover is stunning. Then I have been wanting to read this like middle grade mystery series, and I wanted the British covers because I think they are more attractive than the US covers. They also have different titles in the UK and the US, so I just wanted the original ones, but the series is Murder Most Unladylike. This is by Robin Stevens. They have really cute sprayed edges that match the cover of the book. The little logo on the top is really adorable. So I picked up the first 3 books in this series from Waterstone. So we have this one here. The second one is Arsenic for Tea. And then the third one is First Class Murder. So all of them have the really pretty sprayed edges, and I just think they're adorable. There are 10 of them, so I'm going to go ahead and show you on the back. Here's what they all look like. So obviously I didn't just want to bring all 10 of them into my collection at once, but I'm definitely going to be purchasing all of them, and I'm really looking forward to reading the series. And then Target had a buy one, get one half off sale going on for books. I did talk about this in that reading vlog I linked up above, but I did pick up 2 books for myself during that sale. So the first one is One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle, and then the second one is Before We Were Innocent by Ella Berman. So those were my 2 Target books that I did the buy one, get one half off. So that means I brought in a total of 9 books to my collection, which obviously is a little bit higher than I typically do in a month, but I'm happy with all of the purchases and I'm looking forward to reading them. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is my February reading recap. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.